Welcome to episode 266 of the Thunder Underground podcast. Trent and Jason here as always. And this week we've got a double bill, so to speak.
Right?
Yeah, we've got, as you can see on the title here, we've got an interview with the lead singer of Trapt. And we've got an interview, I guess, of ourselves. I don't know if that's the best way to put it. We were interviewed, and we're taking the audio from that to present to you.
It's a swap cast.
Is that like a
Jim
term?
Florentine would hate that I said that.
Okay. I'm going to tag him then.
It is a term. It's when two podcasts.
I get, yeah.
Oh yeah, you already get
like
it.
Promote each
Yeah,
other.
you don't need me to.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I didn't know if that was like an official like industry term.
But it's us and Tulsa Music Stream, which is Scott and Jana from Down for Five and Rocket Science. We were guests on their live stream, and we got the audio here for you. It was an honor. You'll hear it. It's all good stuff.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. Like last week, we celebrated our 5th anniversary of the podcast and kicking off this next year with ourselves getting interviewed and an interview with someone who's kind of in the spotlight, so to speak, the last few months with some headlines. So
right, yeah, it's a nice little extravaganza we put together for you today.
That's right, and we've got some music as well.
Right.
Before we get into that, we need to let you know we're sponsored by a few different places. One of those being Sunset Tattoo Tulsa, our newest sponsor. They're a tattoo shop right here in Midtown Tulsa. If you give them a call, you can set up an appointment to get in there and check out their work and also, of course, get a tattoo. Their tattoos are done good and proper. They're state licensed and, most importantly, they're mother approved. A wide array of work you can see photos of on their Facebook and on their Instagram and in their shop as well. So get in there, talk to them, tell them we sent you, and we're really glad to have them on board with us. Med Farm is a dispensary located in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma, 24683 East Highway 51. You can get in there and check them out, or if you're still uneasy about going in places, they've got a drive-thru, which is pretty cool because a lot of dispensaries don't have that option.
A drive-through dispensary. Come on.
Pretty amazing.
Yeah, it is.
And they're not, they're within a mile of a Sonic and a McDonald's and Taco Bell, so you can go there, get your food, go to Med Farm and get your medicinal needs, and you're all set up for the night.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's a weekend right there, bro.
Right.
I mean, throw in a liquor store around there, too. There is one.
There was, yeah.
And there's one over by the Taco Bell, too. So, I mean, it's all wrapped up there for you.
Right.
All your vices.
Yeah. You can check them out on leafly.com if you want to see all the products. You can also get on their website, medfarmok.com. Their Facebook is medfarmpharm, where they run. You can see all their specials and everything that's going on Instagram as well, medfarmok. If you shoot them a text or give them a call and place your order, like we said, you can go right through that drive-thru, or you can pull up and pick up curbside, or of course you can walk inside. So if you get over there and tell them that we sent you, they'll give you 25%. Where'd that come from? They'll give you 10% off your first order.
Don't get us in trouble, man.
I was just being hopeful.
I think you've been using some of the product.
That's right. Yeah, right before I came here. But anyway, yeah. Also, Cannabis with a Cause is their slogan because 30% of their proceeds are going to build no-kill animal shelters, which is pretty amazing. They've got one in the works, so once that's up, we'll be talking about that as well. But a huge thank you to them for their continued support. And finally, DEB Concerts. They keep bringing in amazing rock shows to downtown Tulsa, whether it be the Ideal Ballroom or the BOK Center now. They brought in stuff like Saxon, Last in Line, Sebastian Bach, Great White, Warrant, Buck Cherry recently, and they brought in Snoop Dogg last year.
I mean, come on.
Yeah, I mean, how can you go wrong with that?
You can't.
This summer, they've still got some shows on the books. The first one being June 26th was the rescheduled date of the April Texas Hippie Coalition show. That show also features Sweatin' Bullets and Poster Child, and it's hosted by Lynn Hernandez of Camo D. Then a couple weeks later, on July 11th, at the Ideal Ballroom, the New Metal Revival Tour is coming through, and that features Saliva, Powerman 5000, Flaw, and Edema. And then on July 13th, at the BOK Center, the Arena Show, the reunited 4 original members of Poison. headlining along with Sebastian Bach, the original vocalist of Skid Row, and Tom Kiefer, the vocalist of Cinderella. So that's a great triple bill.
What if Richie Kotzen was still with Poison?
Then we couldn't say the 4 original members.
Yeah, but would you be more psyched?
It's hard to say.
Because we're such big Richie Kotzen fans. Or is it we kind of like how it is now?
I like how it is now, definitely. But okay. I mean, if that had never changed, like he never left, and he had been with Poison for the last, 27 years now or something, then it would be a totally different thing.
Right.
And it might be, this is so cool, we don't need, CC and the original sound.
Yeah.
But the fact that is the option, and we also get Weiner Dogs and Richie Kotzen solo now, I think we're getting the best of both worlds,
Good. I like throwing scenarios out there.
I mean, it's the same concept as what if Dave had never been kicked out of Metallica? That would have sucked because then you'd never have Megadeth.
Exactly. And we love Megadeth.
Yeah. But so yeah, debconcerts.com is where you can find out ticket info. And of course, if there's any changes or postponements and that kind of thing, they'll let you know as we will as well. Huge thank you to DB Concerts for their continued support. Break this down before we start in order-wise, but do you want to get into the Tulsa music stream thing first before we play the music?
Yes, let's.
Okay. This is just a couple nights ago, actually. May 16th, Saturday night. Every Saturday night, Tulsa Music Stream at 7 p.m. Central. Run their deal. It's usually about 2 hours, a little over 2 hours. This was the 8th episode, and they've already been stacking up the interviews because they're doing 2 or 3 an episode.
Nice.
Playing 2 or 3 songs an episode.
Yeah.
Pretty impressive because, it's like when we do 2 or 3 interviews in a row, it's like, we cram beforehand, so it's not like hard to do. But if we were doing them live, I'd probably be a little more nervous about that second interview because I'm like, my mind was completely occupied.
Oh, yeah, totally. Yeah, I mean, the way they can do that and not lose their minds is pretty admirable.
Yeah.
I don't know that I agree. I mean, I would melt down probably.
Well, it's cool. And like you said, it's cool and an honor to be able to join with them early on in what they're doing. We've had them on several times as well. But yeah, let's just jump into it. Here is Jason and I on Tulsa Music Stream.
There he is.
Look at you guys. You look fantastic.
So we told Jason to flip his phone straight up and down, and then because last time you were straight up and down and he was sideways, and now Trent's sideways,
no,
right?
actually, you have that wrong because I messaged them and I specifically said, guys, however I called you the other night, leave your phones the same direction because the video will freeze if it's technical stuff that doesn't interest anybody out there.
Right. Yeah, you can't touch it.
Anyway, you guys look good on here. How are you guys doing tonight?
I'm doing great.
Great.
Good, man. Hey, you guys just put out an episode. I saw that, and Blabbermouth picked it up. Congratulations, y'all. That's amazing.
Thank you. Yeah. We've been pretty fortunate over the last few years. They've picked us up quite a few times, and that one just popped up this afternoon.
I know. I haven't even gotten to check out that episode yet because we've been busy trying to get ready for this tonight, but I'm sure it's amazing. But listen, I want to give you guys a chance to tell people, how in the world did you guys have this idea to start Thunder Underground? Was it one of you that had the idea and you approached the other one?
And just to explain to the viewers what they do is they do these awesome interviews, and they started off locally, and then they branched up and they worked themselves up the ladder to do with all these national acts. We're talking members of KISS. We're
Megadeth.
Talking,
amazing.
Gene Simmons, Bruce Kulick, Megadeth, and now almost every concert that comes to town, they're doing like a story with these guys.
Yeah, they talk to big time people on their podcast, Thunder Underground.
Big props to you guys. You guys are working it.
So, fellas, tell us how you guys got this started. Was it the brainchild of one of you, or were y'all just having a conversation and you both collectively came up with the idea, or how did this happen?
Well, it started in 1996, and we just wanted to do like a paper fanzine that you could leave at Starship. And we did that. And it just, that's what it started out as. And as the years went on, technology being what it is, and the internet starts being a thing, we made like a pretty basic website, and just did little record reviews here and there.
Right.
And then I guess Trent can take the rest.
Right. I hope we didn't lose Trent. Trent, are you still there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
I hear
Okay.
you, but your picture went away. I was just messing with audio, not the picture, Scott.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's okay. You can keep talking.
Okay. Yeah, we would sit around. I mean, we've been friends since we were kids, so we would hang out Friday, Saturday night or something, drinking, and all we do was talk music. And Jason, had been listening to a lot of podcasts here probably, 6-7 years ago, and he kind of got me into listening to some of those. And then one day he just kind of mentioned, we should do a podcast because we talk about music all the time. And
right.
It was just kind of a throwaway kind of comment. And then we just kept bringing it up every once in a while. And then one day I was like, screw it. And I bought a microphone and called him and said, I bought a microphone. Let's do this. And we just
wow.
And see, the thing is I was just like, hey, let's just record something on our phone just to see how we sound.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, maybe that might be cool. Next thing you know, he went out and bought all kinds of stuff. So
Is that right?
we were in it, whether I wanted to or not. It was happening.
Right. So you guys have been doing this for how long has it been? I know you've got like 200, what was today's episode, 265 or
right.
How many episodes have you done?
Yeah, 265 is what we put out, most recent one. And
incredible.
Today, May 16th, is the 5th anniversary of our first episode.
That's so amazing.
Man, it's so cool.
Yeah.
You guys gonna eat cake or anything? Or
No, we're here with you, and that's like a huge honor. So thank you very much.
We're so glad you guys came on.
I mean, kind of the thing we mentioned the other day about that is you guys were the first people that we interviewed on our podcast, like episode 7. So it's kind of cool that we're doing this now on the anniversary of our starting the thing too.
Well, that's so cool.
It's a circle of life, right?
Yeah.
Well, I know I follow you guys and I listen to many of your shows, and I just, you guys are constantly putting in work, and you're giving Tulsa something to look forward to. You're giving, it's just fun seeing you guys grow, seeing you guys get put on Blabbermouth, getting these high profile interviews. And I just want to say that how much I just respect you guys and just love your work and how hard you're just hitting it, man.
For sure.
Thank you very much. We appreciate that.
Means a lot, man. We appreciate it.
And I don't want to put you guys on the spot, but I guess I'm going to put you on the spot. Who has been your most enjoyable interview, and who has maybe been your most challenging interview so far?
Well, the challenging is pretty easy. A pretty easy answer from both of us.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was Doyle from the Misfits. And that was
why was he challenging?
It was just, I mean, it's a long story, but it boils down to that his tour manager never told him that it wasn't a video interview, and he was rushing around getting all his makeup and gear on for the video, and then when we showed up without a camera, he was pissed off. And
oh shit!
Oh boy!
He was given we had a shitload of questions too. Sorry to cuss, but we had probably 15 questions, and he ran through them in 5 minutes, and we were just kind of like, okay, thanks. But
not. What about enjoyable?
He was pretty surly, and it was pretty intimidating. But I mean, ultimately, there's no way it was our fault. So what do you do?
Sure. Yeah, I know. You're just the fall guy, right? Well, right. What about it? What about on the other spectrum? Who's been the most enjoyable for you?
For me, it's been guys that I've loved since I was a kid, like Damon Johnson from Brother Kane, Ian Moore. That was amazing. And then, of course, Gene Simmons. I mean, how can you? That was just surreal. I didn't feel like I was on this planet. And then just, I don't know. I could say, Prong, COC, Crowbar, like you said earlier, Megadeth. But I really liked when we had Mark Kendall from Great White on.
Oh, yeah.
We had him on twice, and he was really nice. And then the next day, he's telling his wife about it, and he mistakes. He accidentally says Thunder Down Under, So she Googles that, and it's like a male stripper review from Australia.
Oh my goodness
So,
sakes.
he picked one of us to text, and it was me. So I'm at work texting with the guitar player of Great White.
Nice.
And he's just little stuff like that. And I'm like correcting him. And so it's just the stuff that when I was 15, I would never imagine I would be doing.
Oh, sure.
The time in Selmo, Phil Anselmo from Pantera was on for like 30 seconds. Just
wow.
Stuff like that, and I'm sure Trent he has different answers as well.
Go ahead, Trent.
One of my favorite ones was Shooter Jennings, just because I feel like that's kind of the one where we got to the point where we were interviewing a lot better than the early days. Or, it was like within a year or two of us starting. And it was a great interview with him. And then, like I could mimic most of the ones Jason said. And then, talking to Vivian Campbell and Reed Mullen of COC and Kenny Hickey of Typo Negative. The Tracy Guns and Phil Lewis were amazing. So,
what did you guys think?
Rattle on for like 10 minutes, but
what did you guys think about the Scott and Nine interview? Was that insightful? Was that something that was like you went home and said, "Wow, that was such a great interview"? Those two guys really know their shit,
It was one we need to do again.
Yeah, it changed the course of our podcast, actually. Episode 173, for those of you that don't know. I had it written down so I could say that.
I was going to say, God, your memory is amazing, dude. That's incredible. Well, hey, I don't want you to give away your trade secrets, but like without giving away your trade secrets, how in the world do you guys land these major names?
Yeah, how do you reach out to them? How do you get them to bite?
Jason's smiling.
That's all true. Ask him.
It's just a constant bugging publicists, and either emailing or calling, and you get, if I email 20 people, I might get 3 or 4 responses, but if one of them is Vivian Campbell from Def Leppard or Joey Allen from Warrant, then it's worth it. But
sure,
you just keep hitting them up relentlessly, and we're at a point now that we've done it so much that we have publicists hitting us up all the time, and so it's awesome. It's not nearly as hard as it used to
be. Yeah, when Blabbermouth is like referencing your podcasts all the time, I'm sure that doesn't hurt either, does it?
Right.
Feels good. Feels good.
That's so great, man.
That's so cool.
That's so great. Well, fellas, we're really proud of you guys, and so glad that you all came on with us tonight. And if there's anything you want to tell the people, now's your chance, because we're going to cut you loose after this.
And I'll be honest, out of the two, I figured that Jason's phone would be the one that screwed up.
Why?
And Trent's would have been fine.
Why do you think that?
I don't know.
Nice.
I don't know. I just
I'll hit him for you,
That was the vibe
Jason.
I got. I would think that Jason would show up kind of like, and turn his phone on, and then like Trent would like have his Wi-Fi perfectly in place and all this stuff,
I
get that, and that is totally true. If somebody's gadget would mess up, it would definitely be mine.
Well, it's probably my fault.
I definitely want to say, if you're going to wrap it up, thanks for doing this. Tulsa needs more recognition. We love you guys. We love Down for Five. And just aside from all the national acts I mentioned, to get to talk to all the bands in Tulsa, and especially the ones I saw as a kid, like Dave Cantrell and the Severmind guys and Bunny's Doom and Chad Malone and Steve Ray, Mike DiPetrillo. We really, and to see what the Tulsa hard rock scene is now, it's really inspiring, and it's a big sigh of relief, because I figure when I was playing out, it was a little weird. So I think it's just, it's so much better, and it's really inspiring to see. And you guys are a part of it, so thank you.
Thank you, man.
Thank you.
What about you, Trent? You got any final words?
Kind of what Jason said. Thank you guys for doing this, having us on and everything. And we've, over the past, with the COVID, everything going on, we've did like 15 or so interviews on Skype the past month and a half. And we've got like 6 or 8 coming up with guys from Kill and Junkyard and Rollins Band and Frank Hannon Band. And,
Amazing.
a bunch in the can, and like we said, we've done ones in the past few months with Robin McCauley and James Lomenzo and people from White Zombie and Hatebreed and so on.
Man.
Yeah, so check those out. And if you're a fan of Scott and Jana and haven't been listening to our podcast, check out episode 173, 150, and number 7.
Cool. Well, give these guys some love, viewers. Jason and Trent, Thunder Underground.
Please do not go to Thunder Down Under.
Right.
Go to Thunder Underground.
We love you guys. Keep hard at it, man. Thank you guys.
Thanks
so
for
much.
doing what you do. We'll talk to you guys soon.
Next time we'll have Trent. Next time we'll have Trent on. Okay.
Take care, fellas. We'll talk to you soon.
All right. See you.
Bye-bye.
All right. Bye.
Give them some love. Love those guys, man. Aren't they fun?
Super cool. Yep, they are.
And they know how to take a joke. They know how to dish it. They know how to do all that stuff.
I know. Good guys.
There you go. That was us on Tulsa Music Stream with Scott and Jana Squires. We didn't really, preface it up front for those of you that might not know, if you don't for some reason. They are members of Down for Five and Rocket Science. And like we kind of mentioned there in our talk with them, they've been on our podcast. Jana's been on her twice and Scott's been on her 3 times.
Yeah.
Very cool. We've been fans of them since way before we even started the podcast. And
Years and years, 20 some odd years ago.
yeah, you were even playing shows with Scott's
Yeah.
old band back then.
Yeah, well, we played with Sybil's Machine quite a bit, and we played with Down for Five.
Oh, that's right.
Even before Scott was in Down for Five, and I remember seeing, I remember seeing Syke and Janet in a band, and for the life of me, I can't remember what they were called. I think it's Slam Cat. I think that's what it was. Is that what it was?
I remember that
years
name.
and years ago. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. I was about to say Slam Hound, but wasn't that what Buck Cherry was before they were Buck Cherry?
Yeah.
See, so I mean, and the beauty part of it is I think they're going to have us on again. I think we're going to be checking in with them again so we can get into all that because I want to know.
Right.
And I think it's probably shit we already asked them, but I fucking forgot. So,
right.
So yeah, I mean, it was, again, an honor and it's cool all these years later. We're still pals and we're still supporting each other. So yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Well, yeah, like you just said, Scott had mentioned have you guys back on like for a full-on interview type thing as well.
Definitely.
And we just spoke to them really not that long ago. It was probably February because it was right before all this stuff hit. We were talking about doing all of Down for Five because we've had them on several times, but we've yet to ever have Syke on here.
Right.
And we need to just get a full band thing going because they've got 3 new songs out here in the past few months that are all excellent.
Definitely.
And we need to obviously talk about all that stuff. So, like I said there at the end of that interview, check out our old episodes 150 with Scott and Jana and 7 with Scott and Jana, and then 173 with Scott, along with 9 from Dead Metal Society. So yeah, once again, thanks again to Scott and Jana for having us on. It was a great time. All right, so time to play some music, right?
I want to play some music.
All right. We're going to play something that came out recently on the Vibrations from Tulsa compilation.
Yes, from Horton Records.
Right.
This band is called Plastic Psalms. The song is called Reliquary. I hope I said that right.
Yeah.
If not, guys, sorry. Let us know. I love their description, math punk from Tulsa. Fuck yeah, we're going to play that shit. So, yeah, I'm really excited to play this one.
All right, here we go. Reliquary from Plastic Psalms right out of Tulsa. I didn't even, you mentioned that to me, that you saw that on our Bandcamp, the math punk thing. And it's weird because like nothing associated with that terminology came to my mind. And then when you said it, it made sense.
Yeah, like I heard the song and I loved it.
Yeah.
And when I looked up their Instagram, their Bandcamp, and I was just kind of trying to find out some stuff about them, and I saw that math punk, I'm like, well, of course. You don't think about it, but then when you see that, you're like, yeah, definitely, that fits.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's great. It's great stuff.
Yeah, to me, it had elements of punk, it had elements of hardcore, it had elements of even doom metal, the way some of the guitars sounded. Yeah, you just combine all that, and it's just really cool stuff. And that compilation's fucking cool because there's such a great mix of stuff on it.
Yeah, it is. You've got the Dull Drums. You've got Tom Boyle, which I fucking love that song too. I would love to play that on here. And Blind Oath, Constant Peril. It is a great
Shelter People, that kick out track.
Yes, that kick out. Yeah, exactly. I mean,
the golden ones.
Fucking Vibrations from Tulsa, Horton Records. You have to check out this compilation, and all the bands on there are definitely worthy of your time and your money.
This is one of those things. Even if you're listening to us and you're not from the Tulsa area, it's always fun to check out new music. And there's a lot of underground stuff here, and this thing, spans the gamut of your kind of hardcore metal, punk, alternative, even some reggae stuff in there as well.
Yeah, it's a lot of this. Yeah. It's kind of like I said on the live stream a couple weeks ago. I'm like, a lot of these bands, I don't know that I'm cool enough to be listening to. Like, I don't know. I better not let them find out.
Yeah.
So
they'll lose credit if they know we're listening.
And that's always a good thing, So it's just, so glad to get to play this stuff.
Yeah, so check out Plastic Psalms. Like we said, they're on Bandcamp. You can also follow them on Instagram and tell them we sent you. All right, so is it time to get into some Trapt?
The main event.
Yeah, the main event, so to speak. So we got this interview here with the lead vocalist and rhythm guitarist of Trapt, Chris Taylor Brown. No one that's paid attention to music at all has known he's been in the headlines recently in the last few months. We're interviewing him here, and Trapt has a new album coming out next month. So we talk a lot about that and some other stuff as well. So let's just jump into it. Here's Chris Taylor Brown of Trapt. You guys have been prepping for this new album, and you've done some acoustic live streams as well. Like, how else have you been spending time during this coronavirus?
Yeah, right. A lot of time online, all the social media sites, trying to pass the time. And also just, playing guitar when I can and all that. But we have we had our record pretty much done before this thing hit, and we did an acoustic live, Facebook Live. That was awesome. That was April 2nd. We did that. About an hour and a half. We did a bunch of acoustic songs, or just acoustic guitar, vocal, and our guitar player, Brian, playing a little cajon for percussion, and that was fun. It did real well. We had a lot of people checking that out, but. Yeah, I mean, today is the first time, or maybe yesterday, the first time that I got out of where I live over north of Cincinnati. Now we're in Destin, Florida, living it up, at the beach all day today. So that was pretty amazing. So I feel like the quarantine's kind of, and it's we're opening back up, and it feels pretty good.
Yeah, I bet that feels good to be at a beach. I'd love that.
Oh man, today was pretty amazing.
Well, so you mentioned you had the album completed before all this stuff happened. Was there anything left that kind of got stalled because of things shutting down, or were you pretty much set?
No, not at all. I mean, we're like the record is pretty much ready to, it's per pre-order. We have 3 songs that are available right now. And the record drops June 19th. And, we're just like, let's get it out there. I'm sure people are sitting there on quarantine and all that. And we need to entertain them,
And how would you compare the feel of this album to your previous ones?
I think this one's a good mix, like of our first album and our third album, only through the pain. So, good songs. The all the material, the lyric stuff. I got it real into Carl Jung, and he has a concept called shadow work, and it's like the yin yang, light dark, the good evil kind of thing, and the parts of you that you consider dark or evil or you'd rather not admit to, those are the bigger the parts of you need to keep it closest to you so you can actually have control over those parts of you, because they're just as strong, if not stronger, than the parts you completely accept. But I think musically, people, songwriters and stuff, it's like, wow, they're demons they're writing about. And, this record is just about really be conscious of all that kind of stuff and be true to yourself,
Yeah. Well, as both a vocalist and guitarist, I mean, do you write the lyrics first, or does the music come first? How does that generally work out with you?
Music's always first.
Okay.
You get a feeling from a piece of music, and then the lyrics just usually come just from the vibe and the music, the way it makes you feel,
Like you mentioned, kind of like some of the imagery I've seen associated with shadow work, is darker looking, but the 3 songs I've heard, seem a little more laid back. Is that like, do you mean like lyrically in a darker sense?
And I would even say, I'm just saying the parts of you that you are not paying attention to, the parts that you maybe you're not as proud of, or you don't talk about it as much is what I'm talking about. I'm not saying like darken it as in like you want to go and kill someone or
Right.
commit crimes or whatever. I'm just saying like the parts of you that you're lacking in,
You mentioned Brendan up front, and him and Mike, are newer additions to the band in the last few years. What have they brought to the band that might not have been there with previous members?
Mike joined after we pretty much had one of the album written, and but Brendan definitely I had a great time writing with him throughout the last few years. He joined the band in 2016, and he's definitely a great guitar player and makes up really cool stuff, and just we really write well together. So I think this album will really show that people will be able to hear for themselves. Yeah.
I mean, as far as Brendan goes with being a multi-instrumentalist, has that, you think, added to the depth of what you guys are doing?
Sure. I mean, he did all the drums on this album, and he did all the guitars. So, he's just he knows what to do for a given song. Like, what the right part should be, drum wise or guitar wise. So it's really awesome to have him on board.
So if live shows get pushed back into 2021, how do you foresee the promotion of this record this year?
Well, we've got we're probably gonna be doing shows July, August, September, October. I would think if not full, big shows, then at least acoustic stuff, or we did 2018. We did a whole big old acoustic tour all year long, and it was awesome. Just people, sitting at tables, getting drinks, eating dinner, and watching Trapt do acoustic sets. So if we have to do it that way, we'll do it that way. But I'm not worried about not being able to do the live thing, because everybody sit at home online and wait, trying to be entertained, and if we can't do if we really can't do shows, we'll just have to do the live stream stuff and do that electric that way. But hopefully we don't have to do that. But I think things are going to be starting to open up this summer.
Talking about that acoustic tour, do you like being a hard rock band? Like, how was that experience like for you? Just like doing a whole tour where it's like a little bit more laid back.
It's awesome, man. We just, I think with Trapt, we just try to write good rock songs, and I think a good rock song can be played with an acoustic guitar in front of a fire, campground or something, and just a vocal, and still gets everyone singing along and having a great time. So I think that's what I've always tried to do, is kind of write songs with the acoustic guitar and then bring them to a band situation. And, so we're not really worried about being a hard rock band or being heavy or any of that kind of stuff. We just want to make music that sounds good and that people can relate to lyrically, and that makes them feel something. That's what we're all about.
Well, do you write acoustically, or do you write both ways?
I play acoustic guitar since I was 11 or 12 years old, and that's one of my favorite things to do in my spare time,
Like if things do pick up back this summer or not, like how do you think the touring industry might change a bit once concerts are happening on a full force level?
I really hope everyone comes to their senses and just realizes what the United States and the world, for that matter, did in shutting down an economy to save lives that we don't really know how many people might have died or not. I mean, you had Woodstock in the middle of a pandemic from 1968, so like late 68 until early 1970, and it was 107,000 Americans died of that. There was like an H1N1 Hong Kong virus or whatever, and you had Woodstock in the middle of that, and then in 1957 there was 150,000 that died of another H1N1 type virus, not a coronavirus, but we've been through these kind of things before, and it didn't shut down an entire economy. Didn't say we should have these social distancing stuff. That you got to build herd immunity in any virus that comes along, and it's just insanity to me. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
So hopefully in the next 30 to 60 days, everybody comes to their senses and goes, let's just admit we did something stupid and try to reverse that as quick as possible. That's my position on it.
Cool. Personally, I've always appreciated whenever musicians or entertainers are outspoken with their beliefs. And what do you say to people that say that musicians shouldn't say what they feel, which you've been doing, obviously?
I understand people how they don't want to offend certain people. I mean, that's the whole idea. It's they want to be neutral, and and I'm just not that kind of guy. As I want to have a relationship with my fans that's more than just superficial and surface level, and I want them to know who I am, and I want to know who they are. I like to have discussions with fans, and have a deeper connection with them, and so that's just the way I do it. I understand if people want to keep their personal beliefs away from fans. I get that too. That's just not my thing.
Do you not worry at all about alienating fans or anything if someone doesn't have the same beliefs?
No, because if somebody's intolerant of my views, or we have plenty of fans who are like, I don't agree with you, I don't see it your way, but it's not going to keep you from listening to your music or going to your shows and having a good time. So I just want to really discourage the whole intolerant of other people's views thing.
Well, man, we appreciate you taking the time to talk to us today.
Yeah, man. Anytime. Right on, bro.
There you go, Chris Taylor Brown of Trapt. A huge thank you to Shawna O'Donnell from O'Donnell Media Group. And, of course, a big thank you to Chris Brown for taking the time there to talk to us from the beach there in Florida.
Right, definitely.
I'm not going to, speak one way or the other on anything this guy said, in here or in recent months. But what I said in that interview, when I asked him that question, I firmly believe that. I have no, people bitch all the time, like about an athlete or a musician or an actor or something. They should just shut their mouths and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, it doesn't matter if they make $40 million a year and you make $2,000 a year, they have as much right as anyone to talk, whether you want them to or not.
I fully agree. It's funny you mention this because that, for me, it's a hot button issue.
Yeah.
It really is. It's like, so, Joe Schmo can go on his Facebook and say whatever he wants, and he thinks he's self-righteous and he can think he can do it. And I don't give a fuck what side you're on. It's the same goddamn thing. But if, fucking Brad Pitt said something that, you didn't agree with, how dare he? He's a spoiled fucking celebrity that doesn't know the struggle. But John Voight could get on there and say some shit that you'd agree with, but he's not you see where I'm going.
Everybody's obviously just going to agree
James Woods with
whatever side they're on.
Yeah, or Ted Nugent, I'm sure you don't mind when fucking Ted Nugent goes off on some shit. He's fucking rich. So it's like, I don't care. Just like you said, you make $15 an hour or $15 million an hour. If you're a voting, tax-paying fucking citizen in this country, you have every fucking right to say whatever the fuck you want about it.
Yeah.
You really do. I don't have to agree with it, and guess what?
Right.
That don't fucking matter.
Yeah.
So, there you go.
And a lot of people completely will be like, well, I'm not listening to this ever again. And
Right.
it's like, if you're not going to listen to Trapt, so for instance, because you don't like what he said, and you liked their music before, that's on you. You're an idiot.
Yeah,
it's like,
pretty much.
You don't agree with what Ted Nugent says, but you still know the guy makes amazing music. It doesn't matter if it's as extreme as Nugent or extreme as System of a Down or Rage Against the Machine or Bono on the other side. If I like their music, I don't have to listen to what Bono says. I can still fucking love you too.
Right? Yeah, because, how can you, Ted Nugent, I can separate this shit.
Yeah.
Because I'm more of a fucking music fan than I am a fan of politics or government or whatever politician. Ted Nugent is a fucking amazing guitar player. And his new shit, the song might be about fucking how he hates Hillary Clinton, but whatever. The tones that Ted Nugent gets today is something not a lot of people talk about because they're so concerned with what's coming out of his mouth. But his fucking guitar tone in present day as a 70-year-old man is fucking insane. It strips the paint off the walls. It's heavy, and it's fucking more alive than guitarists half his age, and no one talks about that. So, okay, now I'm lathered up. I'm ready to go. We're just have to wind this down. I need to go get another beer because now I'm getting pissed off, Trent.
All right. Well,
and I don't agree with Ted Nugent socially, politically, but as we said, that does not fucking matter when it comes to his music.
Right.
Okay, I'm done. I can't. Just
the guy could walk up to me
take
and
us
say,
home.
Trent, you're a piece of shit and I hope you die. And the next day I would still say, goddamn, Stranglehold's an amazing song.
Well, Doyle from the Misfits basically did that to us. Guess what? I still love the fucking Misfits. They're one of the best fucking bands in the world. And I don't care. It's like that episode of Growing Pains when Brad Pitt played the rock star that met the little kid,
right.
And when the little kid came back because he forgot his pen or some shit, the rock star guy was an asshole, but the kid fucking still loved him anyways because it's just, you don't know the guy, fuck it, who cares?
Right?
Man, did I go off on a thing? Take us home, Trent. I'm done talking.
All right. Well, on a positive note, if this is your first time listening to us and you love Trapt, pat on other artists that might be up your alley, like guys from Shinedown, Saving Abel, Local H, Drowning Pool.
Seven Dust.
Yeah.
Another Day Dawns.
There you go. Yeah, a very recent one.
Mm-hmm.
We've had on a ton of guys from really heavy stuff like the Black Dahlia Murder, Battlecross, Superjoint, Crowbar, Corrosion Conformity, Prong. More recently, we had on guys from Typo Negative and Life of Agony and Black Label Society, Megadeth, so on and so forth. So just dig through there. TheThunderUnderground.com is our website, and you can find every social media link of ours on there, as well as listen to the podcast there. You can also listen on SoundCloud, Google Music, Apple Music, and all the other places you can find podcasts. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and then subscribe to us on YouTube so you don't miss any of our non-episode style stuff like we do video reviews. We recently did one on Havoc's new album, so get on there, subscribe, and check that out. And yeah, I guess that covers it for another week. Huge thank you to Scott and Jana from Tulsa Music Stream once again for having us on. And of course, thank you to our sponsors, Med Farm, DEB Concerts, and Sunset Tattoo. And a thank you to Chris Taylor Brown from Trapt. Until next time.
Thunder Underground, y'all.